You're watching Weekend at Gabe's and I'm Weekend Gabe. This latest episode was brought to you by the good folks over at the Ghetto Flower. Use our code W@G for an exclusive 15% discount when visiting their site. Tell them I sent you. Now enjoy the show.
All right, our next guest is an absolute fucking legend to the game, especially we've been following it here in Chicago. He has the album that dropped in the spring titled Foolish, that is a bunch of Lucy's that should have been dropped years ago that finally came out. And then he also has some new singles we're going to get into as well that just recently dropped. It's a pleasure to introduce Dave Coresh to the show here on Weekend at Games. How are you?
Yo, what's up? What the fuck is up, yo?
What's going on?
Listen. It's been 9 years since we last spoke, man. I'm excited about this.
You should have said a decade, man. That would have been cooler, man. Put that stamp on it.
I thought it wouldn't make us sound so old. That's all, So, but
well, wisdom, we can't run from wisdom.
This is huge
not
facts.
Getting older, it's wisdom, and that's the first time on the interview.
Dang.
The thing about that is, and I can't remember who I spoke to about this, about being we talked about this last week with an artist, Jay Nolan, who's also been recording for 10, 12 years, and how he feels kind of isolated and lonely that the people that he came into the game with aren't there anymore. So let's start there. Your longevity, your influence, as many people as you have inspired. Do you feel like you're still on do you feel like you're on an island alone creating and people are feeding off the energy of the things that you're doing and still doing now?
Well, I would say as a short answer, yes. But I would say I set out initially to inspire. Like I think Lauryn Hill said it best. Like that's the greatest gift the artist can give is inspiration. You feel me? So in my wisdom, of an inquiring, I've realized that that doesn't stop. There's always more to learn. There's always more to do, and to inspire on a level that people tell me. Like I run into people all the time. I live in Los Angeles, so I run into a lot of the Chicago legends and people that have rose from the concretes and been doing it for 10 years since like I have. And that's the story across the board, and we're still in conversation. We're still passing information or, No Name Gypsy hit me up the other day and was like, dude, I seen these hairstyles on Twitter. I thought of you, there's moments and times, my photographer works with Mick Jenkins a lot and he pops up at a show and I'm like, oh, holy shit. And everyone's there is like, holy shit, Mick Jenkins is here. And Mick Jenkins, like, yeah, I came to see.
Right.
So it's not lonely. It's there. I think it's all of a sense of perspective in a little bit because people have changed, things have changed. But a lot of my core people that I came up with, Classic Studios, a lot of the nucleus of that Chicago movement, I feel it's still going strong. And, I have a production house here in LA where I've let people crash. Everybody from Smino Monty Booker, then slept on the fucking couch, early in coming out to LA. So the influence is transgression. Like it just keeps going. It transcends. It just keeps happening and keeps happening. So
sorry,
word up
something. Anyways, you talked about it in another interview. You talked about changing your perspective because you said like when you were sort of younger, you had more of a jaded outlook on that, where it was like, oh, these motherfuckers is biting my style. Yeah. But these days, it feels like you've been able to take a step back, and the quote you said is the universe conspiring for you.
There we go.
Can you dive a little deeper into that and what that means and how you even transition from that? Because a lot of people get stuck in that jaded mindset for their whole thing, man.
Well, being in LA is kind of like my goal setting out to move to LA was to Los Angeles or to California or to chase my dreams or just change of environment. Like we could boil it down to those type of like perspectives where it's like, okay, in this area I felt jaded. where can I go where I can fully express myself, and regardless of any mental limitations, I can continue to expand. So like I feel like I moved through that knowing and coming to more of an understanding that with $1,000,000 or zero, I'm gonna be who I am. The art's gonna flow, the inspiration's gonna come, the art's gonna be there. I'm gonna set the tone, I'm gonna set the pace. You know, and I had a conversation with a colleague of mine about artists, like true artists, and people who have transcended in time, that they study in art history. These people are validated by historians as artists. Most of those people that we study and we really concentrate on material. I went to University of Illinois and studied English. You know, we studied a lot of Shakespeare, a lot of Edgar Allan Poe, like a lot of these staples, Whitman, and you know, these people weren't as big or prominent in the times that they experienced life and wrote the works that they wrote.
Right.
You know, there's a progression of what was valued and how it came about to be in value. And I think at the time, they probably influenced a lot of people who gained their popularity at the time. And I could see that mirrored in the lifestyle and or the influence I've had on fellow artists or younger artists who have, you know, not even cut corners, but saw where maybe a elder or someone before me did something and I can do the opposite and get better results. Or I can take the model you've created and build upon that. So without me continuing and doing what I do to even show, even if it's down to, like I told my homie, me just showing you what mistakes I've made, it's still a teachable and learnable moment for somebody following what I've done in my career and how I've evolved. So I sense value in that. When I see, you know, artists that say they're influenced by me and they take it up a notch or they do something leveled up, I'm like, damn, maybe they saw my shit and was like, man, I gotta step it up. You know, I gotta use your photographer. I gotta link up with the people you be doing videos with. So it, you know, it's I think even another thing to add on to that is like in the time of now and the music and the things I've been ambitious about, live sound and creating this blend of genre and like fluidness. The industry, the world, you know, art is coming to this space of that being more accepted, especially of people of color like me, coming from a perspective that could have been more stark and more rigid. And now it's becoming more open and diverse. And I think that is, I'm at the forefront of that. I'm not an artist that people could just put in a box and say, he was just this style, you know, and that brings me joy. Like that's my real, that's real art gold. I call it.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to our conversation when Art Tape came out and I was revisiting it. And I think that might have been the time that you were, I mentioned that using live instrumentation on that particular project. And now it's cemented in the work that you do and seeing over the course of the last 10 years, you know, if we want to be square about it, you know, to see how you've elevated your music to not be in a box, but to be so like abstract and like I've heard it referred to as punk rap in write-ups before. And how important is it to not be defined by any label or any sort of, you know, cookie cutter, you know, just to be original and color outside the lines? Like how important is that?
I think you said one of the key words is original. I watched a documentary yesterday on sampling. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a short documentary on YouTube about and an artist said, you know, there hasn't been an original idea in 1,000,000 years. And I think about that in the sense of like art and how there's so much of it that's already happened to be studied. You know, even the craft is its own thing. It's its own space. And to translate your music and your expression on the highest tier of fluidity, just period, on with the notion of, man, I want to feel how I want to feel. I want to make a song that feels how I feel and describes and you know, channels that. that has driven me to cement my production and even get my dexterity up on instruments and play more piano and just be more involved in production and the stage show. Those elements kind of art, like again, the art gold. That's what we're open. That's what we're striving for. You know, I'm sorry, my roommate is texting me about opening the door. We'll have to,
you all good? You need to go handle some business real quick.
no, I literally will 5 seconds. I'm gonna drop the keys out the window.
All right, bet. No
Let's.
worries.
I'm sure we've who we had. What's her name from the Wiener Circle who had to let her husband in? Remember?
She had to let her husband in. Yeah, I remember that. But the latest from Dave is pump your motherfucking brakes. Yeah, I just want to talk about the new video really quick. Because it's out right now, and you talk about making songs that sound like how you feel. Certainly, how I feel when I watch the video is, God damn, this is chaos. Yeah. And I think that was definitely the vibe. But halfway through the video, you say, we had an accident. Don't do this at home. And then you get into a second half of the video. So my question is, what was the accident? Can you walk us through what happened on set that day?
Okay, so that video is a part of a larger project. I'm on a Twitch interview. And so we was shooting I shot like 8 videos in a span of 4 days. So I plotted all these videos out. I did them all like by my house or in the alley or in my garage or driveway or in the fucking in front of my house on the street. So that song Pump Your Motherfucking Brakes was us, like I was supposed to be like on top of the car, like surfing the car and stuff, right? So it's getting wild, it's getting crazy, it's looking really cool, and I'm like, this is cooler than I thought it would be. And so I go to do something extra than jump off the top of the car while it's moving. And I go to jump because we're like jumping on the car, jumping off the car, letting it ride a little bit, and then jumping back on the car and then jumping off it again. So I go to jump off, and I roll my ankle like a backwood. It just it does this. Full perpendicular.
I've had that exact same roll before. In fact, it happens to me every time I play basketball.
You got to get the ankle braces, man. Like, I got them now because I have 2. I wear 2, and I only roll 1 ankle, so I'm just like paranoid. So if I roll it, and it blows up, dude, like a grapefruit, and I'm not immediately. It's like fat as shit, and I'm like, I broke it. And the homie's like, nah, you got up immediately. Like I rolled it, and I heard it snap, and I was like, oh. And I got up, I tried to walk it off, and then I got to the sidewalk. Like, nah, I gotta sit down. I gotta handle this one. And it started blowing up, it's throbbing, and I got all these people at my house, right? Like we've been planning these videos, like, and people are so hyped, like people are so dope. I'll get into the story too, because this kind of like is the like groundwork for No Fun. You heard of No Fun LA? Yeah. That's a practice we have. This is like everyone in that energy starting to form, and I'm seeing it, and I'm sitting there, and everyone's like, so what are we gonna do next? And
you're like limp around. I don't know.
Okay, so show isn't over, obviously. And it kind of just felt like, no, regardless of what happens, we're gonna do this thing. And it's happening because everyone wants it to happen now, because everything's like, man, this shit pumping. I love the song, I love the message, I love the vibe. It looks cool. Like, what's next? What could we do? I'm like, all right, the next scene was I was supposed to be still wilding out in the car, but now I need to sit down somewhere. So we get the chair, PA speaker, and then I'm like, dude, we could do something out in front of the garage from the stairs, and like, you know, I'm coming up with all these shots right on off the bat. And my videographer Zoo DeVille, he's amazing, just one man, one camera, one editor, like he's just nuts. He's like, let's do it, let's go. If you could fucking walk and get back there, I'm down. They iced me up, saran wrap, because we had saran wrap from the Talk to Me video. Saran wrap me up. I get up on the thing, I prop my leg up. I'm like, dude, when the music kick, I need everybody to wild out like I would wild out. I need everybody to act like I would act, because I can't really do it right now, okay? And y'all know I want to go crazy. So the music cues up, and Zoo commented on this. He was like, dude, I've never shot a video where we didn't have to tell people what to do. Everyone just knew what to do. Everyone just immediately. We only shot it like 3 times. That back scene, I shot that scene 3 times. And literally, like, we hit the cameras and boom, it just started going, and everybody's and it just, you know, it's a whole energy. And I'm like, damn, people really fucking with this shit. So yeah, that's how it came about, man. I rolled the shit out of it. I was so happy it was me and no one else, you know, because the show went on. And I didn't have to feel bad for anyone and be like, oh, you know, all I did was, you know, make you turkey burgers. I didn't really like pay you, you know, but like, you know, I treated you nice and then you fucked your ankle up. So it worked out fine. Even now, my ankle still cracks. Hold on, let me see if you could. Hold on.
Hey, my shit doing the same. We're gonna get our shit together.
Yeah. You know, when Elon Musk dropped them ankles, I'm finna get one.
Yeah, the Tesla implant. Hey, I'm right behind you, buddy. If you get that call, hit me up right on the
Tesla implant.
I'm right there, bro. I'm right there.
Tesla ankle, man. I'm gonna need that.
Oh goodness. You were quoted as saying as something that is unique won't get assistance. So how do you, venturing into uncharted territory of merging sounds from blues, rock to hip hop, punk, like how do you expect the support to come and help you, you know, elevate your music? Because when you're sort of suggesting that, like those poets and those writers that you studied in college, it took years for them to get the notoriety. Are you prepared to wait years to get the notoriety, or are you not unsatisfied with sort of the immediate gratification of success and, you know, the listeners and the followers and all that other shit that people deem to be successful?
Yeah, like viral on TikTok. Yeah, I dream of the day, you know, one day. People say all the time, like, you're such a viral person, though. You're just like, everything you do is viral. I say to that old is like, you know, it's already been a decade. Shit, what's waiting any longer? And I would say also back to the universe conspiring in my favor. I think music has changed. I think people have changed. Minds have opened up. What I do isn't as shocking as it was in 2015. Wasn't as shocking as it was in 2012. You know, so it's the demographic of who I'm speaking to and for is broadening. You know, I feel my friends and colleagues and people who might not have identified with what I did maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, pre-pandemic, you know, were more docile, were more reserved in their expression. After this pandemic and all of the turmoil and the social unrest, is now they like, oh, I feel you, my boy. My boy.
Right. That the energy, yeah.
You don't be playing. You be on that time all the time. I feel you. So I see that as being the difference between me and those artists in the past, where, you know, the internet and just, you know, we're moving in the future, so everything's happening faster. So the last 10 years feel like the next 10 years, and you know, the way information spreads, it won't be in the same form. Like even now, I'm doing one of my first headline shows on the 23rd of July. Where I'll do a 45-minute set. This is one of my biggest sets, my biggest solo sets. I'm gonna be full band and doing the whole kit and caboodle, and I'm excited.
Where's that at in LA
It's
for the
called
people who
Border
aren't?
House. Border
Border
House.
House LA.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You can catch me.
We'll put the ticket link in the description if you're watching this back on YouTube. I got you.
Tight. Yeah. So I feel like the crowd of people that are really into what I'm doing is growing organically, and not just like in my face here, but like people online and artists. I'm seeing artists emerge that are like, oh, kind of what I do, and like it's same intensity level as mine. Or I'll play it for people. I love this, I love being out here, and like I work a little part-time job or playing the music for people who aren't in the scene or like in the music, but they just like, regular people just listen to music, go to my job, I go home, I go to the bank, I like, you feel me? They chill, and I play them, and they're like, holy shit, this is like Fast and the Furious. What the fuck is this? And it's like, damn, that's the intensity that's what it's giving. And I love that. I love that. I love that someone, it's not a song that you sit around. The music isn't a music that you sit around and just listen to and do your homework to, but it's something that gets you out of your seat. And that has driven me to this sound and the changes and the exploration, because it's like, dude, I want to be moved. I want to be moved. When I perform the song, I did the instruments like that on purpose, because I know that's going to get a reaction out of people, a certain reaction. Yeah, I could have did something cool and groovy and jazzy and said a lot of metaphorical things that were similes and allegorical statements that were really talking about this. But now you have to have some level of comprehension to what I'm saying. You have to have information like the diction and the vernacular and geographically where I'm coming from. So now we add in all of these layers. Now the average person, like I just talked about, that goes to this job and just smokes his weed and does that regular shit, he can't really catch what I'm saying. So I've crafted this sound and the new music to be something that people can process as soon as they press play on it. You'll see some of the music I have, like Talk to Me, doesn't even have an intro. As soon as you play it, it's Talk to Me. Yeah. Shut the fuck up when you talk. Don't play the song if you don't feel like, shut the fuck up when you talk. Don't play it. It's not for that. So that's
shout out to Mother Water on that one too. Legend. And I just wanted to emphasize while we have you here to give you a little bit of your flowers. It's great to have you on the show, because we've guests for weeks saying how much they love Dave Coresh. We had King Marie on a couple months ago, Ben Moscow way before that. Both had nothing but glowing reviews for you, bro. And just want to give you your flowers there. But moving on, I went back deep into the interview vault for Dave Coresh, and I found an interview, very short, maybe 3 minutes, from 2010. But notably in that interview, you had a mouthful of teeth. So I'm gonna ask a question that I haven't found anybody ask you it before. But how did them teeth fall out your mouth?
Well, it's a process. You feel me? Like when I was 22, I'm 32 now. So when I was 22, 23, I had an accident where I did a backflip on a U-Haul ramp, and I smashed my shit on the ground like real crazy, and that fucked my teeth up. That's the start of the teeth journey. And then from there, I had to get like one of the teeth like pull back down like this, because it had like snapped inside the gum. And then the other tooth is, your teeth are like this long, right?
Yeah.
Whole tooth's like this long, so the whole tooth came out like, and it like flew over a couple feet, and I was like, oh shit, I think it's in my tooth. So I crawled over there and grabbed the tooth, like bink. I'm like, yeah, it's my tooth for sure. And so then I had to go to the dentist, right? I go to the dentist. The dentist pulls this tooth back down into place and in place, and they say, this tooth, you have 30 minutes before the socket in your like gum closes, and you can't put it back up in there. And once it closes, it's closed for good. It's gonna seal off. So they like, you gotta push it back in there if you want to save the tooth. My homie straps me up, like we get in the minivan on the way to the hospital because my whole mouth is bleeding, like gushing like a fountain, like Buckingham fountain. And my homie gets on top of me and mounts me like a horse, and my arms are like this, and I'm looking like this, and they like on a count of 3, he gonna push the tooth back up in my mouth. He says 1. He says 1, 2. On 2, he pushed that shit. If y'all ever do some shit like that, always do that. Do the 1, 2, and then on a 2, just do it. Don't wait till 3, because that shit it hurt more than me hitting the ground. Like I would have hit my head, I would have hit my face again on the ground before having the tooth pushed back up in my tooth.
Oh my goodness!
Because the pain that when it back up in there, bro, it was like, oh my god, that joint was. I'm talking about at the hospital, like I need a painkiller for this, not for this, just for me putting the tooth back in my shit. Like, so that happened. Few months later, I get braces. My aunt's like, you should get corrective surgery. Like your mouth's fucked. Like you look ridiculous. I'm like, I bet for sure I'm with it. Let's go. So I get the braces. I look even more fucking ridiculous, in my opinion. I'm like, now I'm like a mouth full of wires and my shit's chipped and fucked. It's like, all right, cool. I rocked that for a few years. I decided I was finished at university. I leave. I come to LA. I start making music in LA. I started like a little band, not even a band. I just started playing with live instruments, right? First show I ever book out here. I'm like, oh, I done met a few people. I've done a few open mics. Now I'm gonna play this show and I'm gonna be on a bill. I'm bringing a drummer and a guitar. Somebody do this shit. I go to the show. There's like, it's a community center. So it's like hardcore bands. And then there's like folk bands. And then there's like singer-songwriters and shit. And it's chill. Like it's like painters and artists. It's very open and very not that aggressive. And then I play, and all of a sudden everyone's all activated and very like aggressive, and they start mosh pitting at this show. And I'm like, why y'all mosh pitting all crazy
in the community center?
like just be decent people and listen to the music. Like in Chicago, just calm down and just like listen. And right, like, no, this is rock and roll. And I'm like, well, okay, I didn't know that. I was rapping. So they get to pushing and throwing people and shit, and I'm just like, holy shit, this is for real. Y'all for dead ass serious. And then second song, so seconds after the first song, I'm like, okay, first song was Fuck the System Overload. So people really liked that song, and they was like, oh, I love that. Fuck the System Overload. They love that song, right? So I'm like, oh, this shit tight. The next song, I forgot what song we played next. But maybe it's Bad Boy. It was like a rendition of the reggae, the Bad Boys, what you gonna do? And then we just get heavy on that shit. So we play that, and people start acting a fucking ass, like just throwing people. And I'm talking about literally throwing people, like picking people up and throwing them across the room type shit. And people like throwing each other. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm trying to rap this song. And we're not on the stage. We're literally like in front of people. There's 40 people in front of us. We're standing here. They're standing right there, like guitarists, basses. Everybody's like on the same level. They get to throwing people. They're hitting us. We like in the mosh pit too. So I'm like, God damn. Someone hits my elbow like this. Boom. And the microphone hits me in the mouth. Rah! And I'm like, oh, fuck. Instantly, I start bleeding. But I keep doing the song and shit because I just didn't want to fuck up the vibe. So I keep performing. I'm like, God damn. My shit's probably fucked. And someone's like, yo, you're bleeding. I'm like, oh, okay, bet. So from that day forward, I've been in LA maybe a half a year. My shit's loose. It's coming apart. Like the braces like bracket broke at that show. I get a show. I play a show and I'm like kind of timid, but now I'm playing every show and it happens at every show. And I'm like, okay, damn, I gotta like entertain it because people keep doing it every time. So I get to jump in the crowd. I get hype. Every time I get in a fucking crowd trying to sing the song, somebody just hits the mic, bam, knocks my shit again. So now my teeth are dumb loose. My braces are super loose. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with the braces. Like the brackets broke. I ain't been back to Chicago to get them like maintenance. I go to DC, hang out with my brother. We're playing basketball. All my brothers, actually, mind you. So now I have no braces. My teeth are like hanging on for dear life. You know, they kind of straightened up, but they like still like, now there's no tooth. I was supposed to get implants and shit. I was like, you know what? I'm straight. I don't want no implants. We playing basketball. Long story short, my brother elbows me like trying to stop me from getting the ball. Bing. Tooth caught in his arm right here.
Never. Yeah,
promise. Right in the little muscle back here, like on the hood. He hit me with that. Wow. And I was like, god damn it. He was mad I was whooping his ass. I couldn't even be mad. I was like, yeah, you had to do something. Every uncle, everybody, they was getting their ass whooped. Okay, if it was a holiday, it was Thanksgiving. So yeah, I'm very competitive. So that was like, yeah, let's get turkey.
I just
like fuck it. So that's one, right? Then I had the other, right? So that knocked one out. I got one last tooth hanging on for dear life in this jump. I go back to the city. I'm like, or come back to LA. I'm like, dude, I gotta get this shit sorted out. Like, I can't have one missing tooth. Like, it was too cool having two fucked up front teeth, but having one missing front tooth is another level of crackhead. You know, I'm a confident person, very charismatic, very like, you know, I would say intelligent. And, you know, I can relate to a lot of different people and demographics. Like I could talk to the homies, I could talk to a corporate person, but like the stares and the energy that I would get when I would approach and before I could speak, people would judge me or count me out. And it became to be so much. You know, like it was cool when I had fucked up teeth, but when I had one missing tooth, it was like I was a whole different person. And I was like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Like, I'm tripping. Long story short, I'm still rapping, doing my thing. This tooth so like on its last leg, I literally rap it out of my mouth.
That's the most legendary and maybe gross story I think we've ever heard on this show.
So it was loose, and it's like 3 months after I lost this tooth, I'm just like rapping, and I'm like, dude, if I do any more P's, it's gonna fucking puncture somebody at a show. So I start just practicing, and I'm going, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna fall out. It falls out. Now I'm like, okay, I got no teeth in my front. So I'm full blown crackhead. Now I didn't graduated from crackhead. I'm at meth head now. People are like, yeah, he not on crack, he on meth. Like,
yeah, he on something.
He on something. But I'm a fit guy, you know, I'm a very like athletic person, very active and shit like that. So I'm like, you know, and I'm booking modeling gigs, no teeth. Like I'm getting in people music videos and Aria Lennox, and you know, I'm on set and they like, oh, you don't even got no teeth. But so I go to the dentist and I get this teeth plate. And this is how I really found to like look and be like really like solid in this shit. I got the teeth plate, right? And it's a little clip on and you pop it in and it makes my teeth look perfect. Right? I pop that shit in. Same people, you know, same set, same LA. I'm being treated totally different. Like I booked a Apple commercial. I booked this Apple commercial because I could backflip, and it was so funny. They were like, "You were the most athletic on the audition, but you had the best smile." So they were watching a fake smile and the backflip and being like, not knowing I fucked my whole smile up. backflipping. That's how crazy.
Yo.
And right after that, I would say this how I lost all the teeth, because I actually lost that clip and I'm going to get another one at the end of the month. But I got the clip and I go to this set. I literally couldn't do shit with the clip. Like I smoke weed, I roll up and shit. I eat a lot of food. I'm a big foodie, cook a lot, work at a restaurant. You can't eat with it. You can't chew or shit gets stuck in it. So like you at a restaurant, I gotta be discreet and hit them with a quick napkin.
Yeah.
You know, talk low. You feel me? Put that bitch back in you you feel me? So that like I would go to set and I would have the teeth in the audition or on the pictures, and then I'd be like eating or like smoking a blunt on the side of the building while they like, hey, we'll need you in an hour. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'll be getting high. So I'm like, all right, bet I'm I forget to put the teeth back in, and a director sees me on a Halsey video. If you're familiar with Halsey, big pop star. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh my God, are you a dancer?" And I'm like, "Nah, I be dancing and shit. You feel me? But I ain't a dancer. I ain't get booked as a dancer." She thought that was cute and funny, and I was like, "Nah." And she's like, "Oh, well, what are you?" I'm like, "I'm one of the street fighters. I'm extra." She's like, "No, you're now principal. I love your look. Like you have a great look." And from that day, it was like, holy shit, I could pull up with no teeth and book because I'm wearing it with confidence. And then
right.
The answers and after that, I was like, fuck it, I ain't putting my teeth in, even though I just got the teeth like a week ago and put the pictures up and got booked off the teeth. Now I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna tuck the teeth and like walk around and people like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, man, get my contact. I'm like, whoa, what? Now I went from meth head to supermodel. It's like so that's how I lost my teeth, yo.
Man, yo, that was an epic. Like Tolkien is somewhere rolling in his grave because he didn't write a story that good.
I hope everyone who watches the replay of this really appreciates how awesome that is. That's fantastic.
That's
spectacular, man. All right, we're over time, but Sam, do you have any fun questions you want to get into?
I got one last fun question. Maybe it can be a quick one, but you are one of these people who are on the waves early, sometimes even too early. You was damn near viral before viral was a thing. But you mentioned that your first job was working at Hollister, and you also mentioned a period of time, which I remember very well, where everybody was up at Urban Outfitters trying on boat shoes and trying to be fly that way.
Oh, bro.
It was honestly an ideal time for me as a white male. That was my swag. And, I never got better than that for me. But I will say this, since you are ahead of the wave, and we were always trying to get Weekend Gabe some fresh fashion tips, where are the kids shopping these days, Dave Coresh?
Shopping? Well, I would say the internet, man. You got to get on your internet swag. Like, I do a lot of shopping online. I do a lot of thrifting, but I also do a lot of like customization. Like this is
you made that shirt yourself?
Yeah, this is my
just cut the sleeves.
I cut the sleeves and I press this. This is called Fearless. This logo. It's supposed to be like a little mini me, and it's like it's a representation of like you just said, like sometimes you're ahead of the curve or you're on the curve and of the new, and it's just about being fearless within what you're doing. Like I'm not gonna slow down because people are trying to catch up, like I had 6 years ago, like, dude, everybody's gonna be trying to have a band and be on some rock star shit. Watch, man. And now we're here, and it's like, well, yeah, everybody's taking that swag. Everybody has colored hair and shave their sides, and it's kind of punk rock, and it's doing all of these antics. So, with the style, I say, it's a little bit of new, little bit of old. You feel me? Like I still thrift. Like I love a good thrift. I love a
thrift
good.
this weekend.
I love a good like plain Jane too. Like when you could come, like right now, I got this on with some black champion shorts. Like, you feel me? And now I could throw on some J's. You know, I could just, just throw on some dunks. You know, I got some shatter backboards. I got some Air Force Ones. You could just wear a simple fit, then wear a cool shoe. You know, or vice versa. Like,
hey,
and Gabe, I'm sure you pass. You feel me? You got some options, baby. There's a friend of mine. It's the last thing because we wanted this one to be short. A friend of mine, a female friend of mine, has described to me this thing called white male confidence. If you wear everything with white male confidence, you're great. That's like one of my mantras. I wake up is like, dog, what would a white man do?
He'd be in Urban Outfitters in 2022.
You fucking want. He can wear boat shoes on land. It was a great that's great fashion sense. Do what you want to do. That's the best advice anyone could ever give you. That's where I pull from. Just do what the fuck you want to do, okay? You like I let a polo. Do I got a polo on? No. Do Ronnie got a polo on? No. You in your own lane, baby. You polo all day.
That's definitely part of the brand. So yeah, it's on point. I need to get some more lighted colors though. I live too. My aura is a little bit too dark, but yeah, I gotta brighten it up.
Brighter shoes. That's what we learned today.
Brighter boat shoes. There you go.
Come on.
All right. Yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, because we're way in overtime, but really quickly, LA, Chicago, both huge food markets. You said it yourself. You're a huge foodie. Gun to your head, who are you riding with? The crib or LA?
On the food?
Yeah.
Well, okay, all right. Well, first off, I've been here hella long, right? And like when I first got here, I lost 12 to 15 pounds, right? And I haven't gained them since. I've been thin, I've been in shape, I've been very active. I ride a fixie too, like for fun, 10, 15 miles just hanging out. I say that to say the diet in Chicago just different. So when I go to Chicago, I'm eating a whole nother cuisine. Like it's not the same. It's not, quinoa and fucking salads and kale and heirloom tomato. That's not what I get when I'm in Chicago.
Right.
I'm gonna say gun to the head, shoot me, G. Because I just like food. I like food. I would say this. In LA, they got a lot of international stuff. Like it's a lot of Korean. It's a lot of like you could do dim sum. There's a lot of Japanese. There's a lot of Chinese. Like it's just different cultures. You're gonna get your ramens, you're gonna get your pho, Vietnamese, you're gonna get Hispanic, not just Mexican. You can get Hispanic,
right?
Dominican, Cuban, fucking El Salvadorian, like you eating pupusas, micheladas.
El Salvadorian plates are not to be slept on either. They are busted.
Like it's real live richness out here in that aspect. Now in Chicago staples, like I'm not getting a pastrami gyro everywhere. You feel me? I could only go to Baba's and get a Baba's lemonade. Like I could only go to Maxwell Street and get a pork chop with some onions on it. I ain't never seen nobody put a pork chop on a bun. Okay, so they just two different things. They're just like, you feel me? I don't even know where you could get a pork chop in LA, low key. Like all the pork I eat is spare ribs at the Korean barbecue. You gotta cook it yourself. Like,
oh my god, it's hilarious. Oh man, well, Dave, I thank you so much for joining us and staying over time with us. We appreciate this. Is one of the best interviews we've done on our 131 episodes of shows. We appreciate you giving us the time. Pump Your Motherfucking Brakes is out on all digital streaming platforms. The video is out there. Go run up Foolish and put some money behind that Bandcamp release as well.
And look, I haven't even announced it yet. I was gonna announce it, I guess today and right now. But
Let's go.
Is this an exclusive? Sorry, I gotta hit the siren real quick.
Yes.
Weekend at Gabe's exclusive. That's what we talking about.
Keep
Hell
pressing
yeah.
that shit. Keep
Hey,
pressing.
I'm gone.
Yeah. So my next single is coming out on July 21st. It's
Hey.
Yeah.
So it's called I Don't Give No
Let's
Fuck.
go.
So
Hey.
IDGNF.
Yeah.
There we go. Fuck it. I was like, damn. But you gonna see on Instagram that I tagged you. You said you see a chug, do a chug.
Chug, send a chug. Are we on that? Are we on that right now?
Yeah, I gotta.
Oh no.
I gotta
You got
re-up.
something?
I just like to up the ante every time. That's all. So if we gonna drink, we gonna fucking drink, okay? We gonna. I don't know if this. Like when you see the video, I already had 3 shots. I already did 3 shots. So this would be like 5 more, or maybe what's that like? Oh,
It's
no,
like
that's deep,
2
right?
shots.
Hey, Dave,
2
one time
shots?
for the people.
Cheers.
Oh, no,
Wow. See a chug, send a chug, America.
What's up, Gabe?
I got some Coca-Cola. Boom. There you go. There may be an alcoholic beverage inside the can. You may not never know.
That kind of went down the wrong pipe. But
All right.
hey, man.
Well, we'll look for the new episode in 2 weeks from today. Dave, thanks so much again for making time with us. This was absolutely amazing.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. Again, congrats on 100 episodes. The consistency, the longevity, the determination to continue. I see. I mirror those. So, thanks for having me, man. Let's do it again in another decade. You feel me?
Hopefully, let's sooner than that. Yeah, let's not wait 10 years to do this. Yeah,
y'all got me. It blow up. Don't think I'm gonna act weird. Okay.
we predict. We predict that you're going to win a Grammy soon, so that's our prediction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You practicing that shit now. You practicing.
It's coming. It's coming.
All right, Dave, we got to get out of here. All right, Dave Coresh joining us tonight all weekend at Gabe's. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We appreciate it.
Yo, be smooth.
Yep.
All right, Dave Coresh. Listen, I'm okay with going to overtime for this because it was absolutely phenomenal.
First off, I'm so okay going overtime for people who have
that story was amazing.
And Dave absolutely blew it out of the park, and we got a chance to chug on the back end. So shout out to Dave. I hope I can get up with him next time I'm out in LA. But Gabe, we don't even have time to preview Tuesday's show because that's how overtime we are, and I still got to edit the video. So, yo, there are 3 things that we do on this show, and we've been doing it all goddamn night for an hour and a half. What are they, Weekend Gabe?
Share, support, show love. All right, everyone. See you on Tuesday night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe out there. Dave, salute. And Hugh, salute. Everyone, salute. Be safe. We out.
Thank you for watching the latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's on YouTube, brought to you by the Ghetto Flower. Make sure to also click on the links in the description for more information to our guests and access to exclusive new music from the Ghetto Flower and so much more. Make sure to also like and subscribe to the show, and also continue to share, support, and show love by clicking on any of the links surrounding my head. Thanks for watching.